What is going on, man? We back. Did Jesus come back? Oh, damn. We made it back another day. Shout out to everybody at the Core Plantation. Man, I got another one. The Townhall Lie. Your girl, man. We're going to address a few things. Before then, shout out to everybody out there at the Core Plantation. Shout out to Vegas. Shout out to the homegirl, Shawnee, Philly in the building. The homegirl, Erica, Florida in the building, a.k.a. Florida. Shout out to my brother James Youngblood, Texas in the building. My brother David, Georgia's definitely in the building. And my homegirl Melina, definitely North Carolina's in the building, a.k.a. North Kakalaka. All my siblings is in the building too. But, man, this shit is crazy, man. But we about to get right into it, man. The Townhall Lie. Let's get it. Man, let me tell you something. First, before I address this Townhall Lie, it's a brother that was on Earn Your Leisure. His name is Ian Dunlap. Good brother, but I vehemently disagree with him. He was on, oh God, I forgot that brother's podcast. They do it kind of like in a barbershop inside of New York. I forgot his name. But he was on his podcast. He was like, oh, well, reparations is good, but it would totally break the bank. Y'all niggas need to stop using the dominant society talking points. They can give all this money to Ukraine, give all this money to immigrants, but as soon as it's time to get niggas money, they start coughing and clearing their throat and tell them about the gun line and it'll break the bank and all this. That y'all sound like Sambos. That dude's name is Ian Dunlap. And you sound like a fucking Sambo. Stop talking. I'm so sick of niggas talking about the data when it comes to us getting money. But when it comes to them giving out money, it's nothing. It's just built into the system. So reparations for our dominant society, Jewish brothers and sisters, that's built into the system. But when it's time for black folk to get reparations, it'll break the bank. You sound like a fucking Sambo. And sometimes it's good to just be slow to speak and eager to hear. Just be quiet. Then he's like, oh, shout out to JP Morgan and all that. Y'all niggas want to maintain this system, bro. For real. And that shit get irritating. Because I'm like, why the fuck is he saying that shit? That's sucker shit. Oh, well, to break the bank. Nigga, what ain't gonna break the bank? Stop doing the work for them. Let them explain it. I don't need no niggas explaining to me the system of racism and white supremacy, and you ain't read no books on that system. I don't care how many numbers you know. If you don't know how the system works, you are infantile in this motherfucking organization, which is racism and white supremacy. How you gonna go on a podcast talking about it'll break the bank? Black people always talk about what bank is gonna break. When it come to other people getting reparations, it ain't gonna break no bank. But when it come to black folk getting reparations, it'll bank. The bank will break. Oh, you think COVID was bad? No, man, that's sucker shit. I'm just sick of hearing people maintain the system and hide behind fake ass data. You better go read that book, How to Lie with Statistics. Stop lying, man. That's why the system works so well, because niggas help to maintain it so efficiently. When I saw that comment, I was like, yeah, what the fuck is this nigga on? Like, dog, who does that? Who says sucker shit like that? That shit had me irritated. I'm like, that's some bullshit, my nigga. Sorry. Yeah, that nigga's name is Ian Dunlap. And he's a part of that Earn Your Leisure podcast. Yeah, you know, and I don't know them people personally, but this is serious business. Bro, you gotta stop speaking on shit like that. Sometimes just be quiet. Let other people speak. Let them explain to us why we can't get it. I don't need you explaining it to me for them. Man. That's why everybody, you have to, when you listen to these people talk, you gotta take it in, and then you gotta really, 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 really do your own investigation. Why you saying that? That's why I was like, why the fuck is this nigga saying that shit? Like, why would you say that? Oh, because the numbers, it's always the numbers, huh? Always the fucking numbers. But don't nobody question the numbers of how it's that those same numbers are inbuilt into the dominant Jewish white society who gets reparations as well. So they can get reparations, but when it comes to us, we'll break the bank. That doesn't even make sense, man. Y'all niggas need to stop maintaining the system, stop prostituting your integrity and being a hoe. Man, bro. God damn, bro. Man. That shit is irritating. I'm like, what the fuck is this nigga saying this sucker shit for? Math Hoffa. That's that dude's podcast. His name is Math Hoffa. And he has a great podcast. This nigga going there talking about, yeah, it'll break the bank. I wanted to jump through that TV like, nigga, oh ass nigga, shut up. Who told you to say that? Where the fuck you come from? Niggas get a little, that's why I don't want to be on camera. I don't want no limelight. I don't want no clout. I don't want none of that sucker shit. No, nigga, let's talk the real. Fuck putting your face on camera and all this other shit. When it comes to this podcast, no, we finna talk. Let's talk about the information. Too many motherfuckers, in my personal opinion, and I'm sorry to be cussing and stuff like this, but I'm irritated. Too many people in the United States of America Incorporated done got a little limelight, got a little shine, and now they want to be maintaining the system. Oh, let's just be honest, let's just be honest, reparations will break the bank and all. Man, goofy ass nigga, get your whole ass out of here with that bullshit, man. So I thought I would address that because I don't like that shit. Like, nigga, don't be speaking out against the reparations movement just because you getting a little clout. That clout could be taken away from you at any time. And first of all, you better be thanking Boyce Watkins. He the nigga that put that money game on a major platform. Y'all niggas was nowhere around when Boyce Watkins first came out at all. So you want to talk some real shit, Boyce Watkins, that nigga be on some bullshit sometimes too. But like, if you want to give credit where credit is due, you got to give it to Boyce Watkins. Y'all niggas came along way later. And then I seen something where Dame Dash was like, and then y'all niggas did some flip mode squad shit. Like, you act like you was cool with him, then you aired some shit out that wasn't. I'm like, yeah, I ain't. And Dame Dash did y'all fucking podcast when y'all niggas wasn't shit. That's why I be like, what the fuck is wrong with people, man? Man. Don't nobody want to share the stage. They just want the whole stage to their fucking self. And they don't give a fuck if it is at the detriment of foundational black Americans. That's some sucker shit. Don't be fucking talking about, reparations for black people. That'll break the bank. Okay, well, whole ass nigga, you ain't gotta be here. Shit. Man, I'm sick of that shit, bro. Like, man, that shit is irritating. This is something that we deserve. This is something that our parents worked hard for. What the fuck you mean? You up here talking about, hey, to break the bank. That's some dominant society talking points. Because that's what they say. Every time you bring up reparations, they asses be saying that. So I thought I would just, get on that real quick. Now we about to get on genius ass Kamala Harris in this town hall. Let's get it.
Hawken, Pennsylvania. He's registered as a libertarian, describes himself as an independent. He says he's undecided. Eric?
Thank you, Anderson. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you, Eric.
So my question is concerning groceries. Grocery prices
Man.
have gone up quite a bit in the last 4 years. Yeah. And some people blame former President Trump. Some people blame President Biden. Who would you say is correct? And what would you do to bring prices down for Americans?
Man.
Thank you, Eric. And you're absolutely right. You know it. I know it. I think most Americans know it. Price of groceries is still too high. And we need to address it in a number of ways. One of my aspects of doing what we need to do to bring down the cost of living for working people and the middle class in America is to address the issue of grocery prices. Part of my background and how I come to it is probably a new approach, grounded in a lot of my experiences as a
Okay, answer the question.
former attorney general, where I took on price gouging.
Oh my God, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. Groceries, you buy two things at Trader Joe's, you walking out of there, you got two things, you got two grocery bags, and you didn't pay $250. And she up here talking about price gouging. Dog, how you gonna bring the prices down? That's what I'm saying. Just say, you know what, I got a team that's working on that. And when we get those facts and figures, I will release it to the public. Next question. Man.
And part of my plan is to create a new approach that is the first time that we will have a national ban on price gouging, which is companies taking advantage of the desperation and need of the American consumer and jacking up prices without any consequence or accountability. So that is one way. But to your point, Eric, there are a number of issues that we need to address in terms of bringing down the cost of living. It includes what we need is a new approach that I bring to the issue of affordable housing, including, for example, rent. And again, I bring to it my experience, knowing.
But we don't care about your experience. We want to know how groceries are going to be cheaper. We want to know how things are going to be more affordable for us. Housing, groceries, shit like that. Answer that.
What has been happening in terms of how corporations have been buying up blocks of property to diminish competition, and then rents
That's old. We know that already. Get to the point.
get jacked up, and addressing that, both in terms of making sure that there is a consequence and accountability for that, but also investing in people's dreams of home ownership.
And how many times have y'all heard me, James Youngblood, Dave for No Compromise, Eric Ashani, Tasha, everybody out there, how many times y'all heard, I've been talking about this house shit for like the last 5-6 years. Like before I started doing the podcast. Then when we started, like, at first I didn't talk about housing as much, but like, I would say by like 2020, 2021, I was like all over the housing. Like, dog, you need to make the houses affordable. Like, come on. We are foundational Black Americans. We should get priority over everybody else. We built the country for free without repayment. Damn. Can we at least get a house?
Knowing that for too long, frankly, both administrations in both parties, Democrats and Republicans, haven't done enough to deal with the issue of housing. And we need a new approach that includes working with the private sector. I say that as a devout public servant, working with the private sector to cut through the red tape, working with home builders, working with developers to create tax incentives so that we can create more housing supply and bring down the price.
Let me just ask you about price gouging. I looked at your plan. You talk about going after price gougers, and I'm quoting from the plan, on essential goods during emergencies or
This Anderson Cooper. I'm going to break him down in a minute.
times of crisis. I get that. How does that help, though, someone like Eric with prices that for years the grocery prices just been high?
Thank you.
Well, first of all, Anderson, as you know, and obviously CNN has been covering extensively what has been happening in the state of Georgia, North Carolina, Florida. It's a real issue. I was Attorney General of California. I was the top.
But we don't care about you being the Attorney General. We don't care about none of that. He asked you a simple question. How's it going to help him? How's it going to help the regular people? Man.
Law enforcement officer.
This is what's called the emotional roller coaster. We like to call this the Vivian Green effect. The emotional roller coaster effect. That's what we like to call it, where you just go on an emotional roller coaster. That ain't got nothing to do with the question.
Of the biggest state in the country. I took this issue on because it affects a lot of people. And I'm not going to apologize for the fact that we need to actually deal with accountability when these, not all, in fact, most don't, but when companies are taking advantage of the desperation and the need of the American people. We saw it actually during the pandemic as well, where because of supply chain issues, there was a reduction of supply, and then they would inflate the price of everyday necessities. Not to mention, by the way, again, Donald Trump should be here tonight to talk with you and answer your questions. He's not. He refused to come. But understand that part of his plan is to put in place a national sales tax of at least 20% on everyday goods and necessities.
Why are you talking about Donald Trump? Just tell us what the fuck you gonna do.
And that, by economist estimates, independent economists, would cost you as the American consumer and taxpayer an additional $4,000 a year.
I want you to meet Carol Nakanoff, a political science professor at Swarthmore College. She's a registered Democrat who says she's leaning toward voting for you, has yet to make her final decision. Carol?
Hi, Carol. Thank
Good
you.
evening. Thank
Good
you
evening.
for visiting us in Delaware County, Vice President Harris. My question is this. If you could accomplish only one major policy goal that required congressional action, what would it be and why?
Well, there's not just one. I have to be honest with you, Carol. There's a lot of work that needs to happen, but I think that maybe part of this point how I think about it is
Y'all, this is what I used to do. This is what I used to do. It used to be this lady, right? You know, ancestors, God forgive me. You know, born and raised in church, and I remember we used to be able to get out of church. Tasha know what the fuck I'm talking about. And it used to be this lady, and she would come at the end of church and do the damn Kamala Harris and just go on an emotional roller coaster and hold the service another hour, hour and a half. And I remember one day she came in there and I was like, ah! And everybody started laughing. And that lady looked at me and I didn't give a fuck. I was like, man, dog, we about to be out of here an hour early and you about to hold us back another hour and a half because you want to be babbling and shit. And it's like, dog, you're not even making sense.
we've got to get past this era of politics and partisan politics, slowing down what we need to do in terms of progress in our country. And that means working across the aisle. I've done that before. We did it around whether it be what we were able to accomplish with the bipartisan infrastructure deal or some of the work that we have done in terms of dealing with gun safety. But we've got to work across the aisle. And it is my commitment to work with Democrats, with Republicans, with independents, to deal with a number of issues, whether it be what we need to do in terms of housing and creating legislation.
Oh, and just to let y'all know, housing, I'll say it again, housing, 19% of Californians, black Californians own homes, and 62% of white folk own homes in California. So I just thought I'd give y'all that little national average too.
And that creates incentives for that. What we need to do to reinstate the freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do.
All right, yeah, let's go to the next one. Because, man, get to it.
One of the first phone calls you made after President Biden announced that he was dropping out was to your pastor. And I'm wondering, if it wasn't a confessional, if you could say what that conversation was like.
Well, my pastor, Reverend Dr. Amos C. Brown of Third Baptist Church, it was an extraordinary.
Oh, get to it. I got to fast forward. Sorry, y'all.
Some would say, but I actually think it's the strength, is I really do value having a team of very smart people around me who.
Well, they're not too smart because you don't know how to speak. Let's get to the next shit. Because, man.
Can you be more specific? Income taxes are already on a graduated scale, where the more you make, the higher percentage you pay in taxes. So the rich are paying a disproportionate amount in taxes as it is. Over 40% of Americans don't pay any income taxes. Also, the really high earners may move their money offshore if there are disincentives in the U.S. This could impact the economy.
Yep.
I would like to hear more nuts and bolts about your economic plans.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. So first of all, it is the case in the United States of America that billionaires on average pay less taxes as a percentage than teachers and firefighters and nurses.
Yeah. I'm talking about hard workers like pound the street, have some success.
Yes, no, I understand, but I want to just let's
not
set the
really high.
Let's set the scene.
See?
Right?
Yeah.
So when I say
You see how this lady just checked her? Like, no, we not talking. Because she's about to go and start emotional roller coaster babbling about the rich. Stop. That don't work no more. We going to tax the rich. Leave the rich alone. That's not the problem. Like, Warren, what you mean? Man, I'm so sick of this shit. You're not going to win. The rich are encapsulated in the system of racism and white supremacy. You're not going to be able to touch them. That is not even realistic to be like, yeah, we're going to tax the rich. Right. And where has that gotten us? Y'all tell me, where has that gotten us? Let's tax the rich. We tax the rich every year, and then what the fuck happened? Not a goddamn thing. So I don't want to hear none of that sucker shit.
that the richest among us need to pay their fair share.
Okay.
I am referencing that, and I need to reference that because sadly, Donald Trump, when he was president, gave tax cuts to the richest, to billionaires.
And as he gave those tax cuts, groceries were not at an all-time high, interest rates weren't at an all-time high, and goddamn houses weren't at an all-time high. What the fuck so what are you saying? Like, that's what I mean. It's like, oh, well, we're going to tax the rich. Okay, cool. But it seems like when it's time for y'all to do that shit, we're the ones that get the short end of the stick, not the wealthy. Because at the end of the spectrum, it's like groceries are at an all-time high. all-time high. I'm talking about you go to Trader Joe's, you go to a regular goddamn grocery store, if you get 3 bags, that's $400. And I'm talking about 3 bags of mustard, mayo, ketchup, condiments. That shit is a grip. We're not even talking, man. Have y'all looked at the price of eggs? Man, you better move to a state where they got farms. Shit, for real.
Corporations, which added trillions of dollars to our deficit. So that sadly needs to be said in a way that should be obvious to your point, but is not given what he did. Now, in terms of what we need to do to bring down taxes, I have pledged and have a plan for a middle-class tax cut that would affect 100 million Americans, including, for example, what we will do around small businesses, in terms of tax deductions, in terms of what small businesses are now being mired in.
Yeah, but are the small businesses immigrants running them? Because I have no concern about no immigrant running no small business. I'm talking about foundational Black Americans. I'm talking about no immigrants running no business because it's not helping Black Americans.
In terms of a bureaucracy around, they have to fill out and do their taxes in a way that actually holds them back. Part of my plan includes extending a middle-class tax cut that would include a $6,000 tax cut, essentially a child tax credit for parents and young parents in particular, knowing that the vast majority of our parents have a natural desire to parent their children well, but not always the resources. So this is going to include an extra amount of just money that people can use to pay for childcare, which is far too expensive for too many working families. And part of the issue here is this. We cannot, and I will not, raise taxes on anyone making less than $400,000 a year. But we do need to take seriously the system that benefits the richest and does not help out working middle-class Americans. I come from the middle class, and I believe that the middle class needs tax breaks to be able to actually not just get by, but get ahead.
So you're saying,
God.
well, what you're saying is anyone under 400,000 won't have taxes raised. Or are you saying that anyone above 400,000 will have a tax raise?
I'm saying that there is going to be a parity around what the richest people pay in terms of their taxes. Right now, Anderson, you know, the document, it is well documented that some of the richest people in our country have gotten away with a 0 tax rate.
And a lot of them are immigrants.
If you're earning $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 under your plan, there's a good chance your taxes go up.
We can't have this conversation without knowing it's a very complicated situation, right? If you're talking about a small business owner, I'm going to cut taxes for small businesses, right? Because I know that they need the overhead, the money that they need for overhead to actually benefit the growth of their business, which benefits our economy as a whole.
Let's go to, actually, I want to reference something that about Pam. Pam, we mentioned her husband Steve died a year ago. You've talked about your mom, Shamala Harris, who died 15 years ago. What has grief been like for you? Do you still?
Yeah, here, let me cut this on because I can't hear it enough. She was just babbling. Let's break down Anderson Cooper. So a lot of y'all don't know who he is. Anderson Cooper, he's a descendant of a very wealthy family, the Vanderbilts. That's who is. Look him up. Look him up. Look up Anderson Cooper. And he's a descendant of the Vanderbilts. So he's very wealthy. Very wealthy. So don't ever let him make you feel like, oh, well, you know, Anderson Cooper for us. Anderson Cooper is for him and his family. Y'all need to understand that. People will come across as, oh, yeah, you know, Anderson Cooper for us. No, he's not. Anderson Cooper is for the Vanderbilts. You know what I mean? and a lot of people don't even know that. Here, let me see. Yeah, because his mom was Gloria Vanderbilt. And his great-great-grandfather, or his great-grandfather, is Cornelius Vanderbilt. As in Vanderbilt, the college? As in Vanderbilt, the railroad fortune? Yes. Because Cornelius Vanderbilt was in this book. It was about Jeremiah Hamilton. I'm blanking, y'all. I've talked about this book. He was Haitian, Port-au-Prince. He was born in Port-au-Prince. And he, sailed over to the United States of America Incorporated to build a better life for himself, like most immigrants. And he would be battling with Cornelius Vanderbilt about lawsuits and defamation of character lawsuits and stuff like that. You got to read the book. It's a very good book. They tried to lynch him. He had a dominant society wife, and they thought that she was going to turn on him. She didn't turn on him. And they were trying to, of course, you're not going to lynch a white person. That, that's against the law. But they were trying to lynch him. They were so pissed off at him, they showed up at his house, but his dominant society wife knew they were coming, so she told him to go to another house, and they showed up looking for his ass. But he had a lot of battles with Cornelius Vanderbilt. Cornelius Vanderbilt is Anderson Cooper's peoples. That's why his name is Anderson Cooper, not Anderson Vanderbilt. You see what I'm saying? He doesn't want that around because they got money. Don't let these people play both sides and act like they, for you or whatever, when really they for themselves. So we have to understand that too. Because I saw that town hall, I watched it, and I just kind of was like, she doing a lot of babbling, a lot of running the mouth. Yeah, Anderson Cooper, he went in a little bit, but it doesn't surprise me. Because like I said before, Anderson Cooper is wealthy. So, and they're going to always be on the side of the dominant society at the end of the day. They act like they so liberal and all this other shit, but when it's all said and done, they don't give a fuck. They going to push that, and especially who Anderson Cooper belongs to. Don't let him play. Don't let these people play with you and make it seem like, oh man, he asking her the tough questions. Bullshit. Again, I'm going to tell you again, his peoples are the Vanderbilts. Railroad Fortune. Cornelius Vanderbilt. Go read the book about Jeremiah Hamilton, the Prince of Darkness. If I'm not mistaken, I forgot. I haven't read that book in a long time. I ain't read that book since 2017. Yep. And it talks about Cornelius Vanderbilt and his railroad fortune. Just like the Rockefellers, just like these people got money. Don't let these people that they put in front of you convince you that they for us because they ask these people tough questions. Man, who give a fuck about all that? Remember that. And she was just doing a bunch of babbling, not explaining shit. Oh, well, Donald Trump is the president already. He ain't got to go out there and do the goofy shit like you. I just thought I would put on blast how she looks when she's trying to explain shit that she can't explain because she's not a great public speaker. She's horrible. Like I told this man, I was like, man, Kamala Harris is a moron. And he was like, well, what do you think? I said, I just think that these people are morons. They don't know how to speak. Their thoughts are not gathered. How do you not know how to freestyle a 5-minute, speech in your head so you can, galvanize the American people behind you? No, she just didn't even know what to say. Kept saying 32 days 1,000 times. That looks dumb and imbecilic. Like she just an automaton, don't know what to say. No, I wouldn't vote for nobody like that. I was like, and then they want everybody to get the jab. And I was like, look, I had to tell this motherfucker. I checked this old white motherfucker. I said, look, let me tell you something, bro. If you ain't read nothing, I ain't even really want to talk to you about it. And two, you can't tell me shit about what the fuck they did with the jab. Nigga, I know who the fuck I worked for at that time, and I know what the fuck they was doing, and you don't. Man, sometimes you gotta go hard on these old ass people. I don't care if he is white. No, get the fuck on. Your opinion ain't end all be all. See, that's the thing. A lot of these people ain't read shit and don't know shit and then expect you to just bow down to their opinion. No. Go read Powernomics. Like I said, man, cheering for no Anderson Cooper because he asked her some tough questions. How y'all not knowing that shit ain't planned and thought out? He a part of the LGBTQ LMNOP XYZ community. So you already know who he going with. That's theater. And he's wealthy? Shit, he ain't fucking with none of these niggas. Guilty nigga, I'm out. Peace.